What's up, beautiful world? This is TNA, Top Notch Audio, and welcome to another episode of r/Petty Revenge. Our first story will be, he wanted all his stuff back, so I made sure he got everything. And then, revenge for engineers treating techs badly. Followed by, want to not clean a store amidst a pandemic? Enjoy the health department. And finally, don't take my cologne. If this is your first time listening, remember to hit that subscribe button on the bottom right-hand corner. If this is not your first time, welcome back. Enjoy the stories of r/Petty Revenge. And this next r/Petty Revenge story is posted by you/Blackbird named Jude. He wanted all his stuff back, so I made sure he got everything. Obligatory. I'm on mobile, so forgive me for formatting. So my last relationship was beyond bad. He was all sorts of abusive and controlling. At one point, I had the strength to break up with him, but then we got back together after we discussed some things. Stupid, I know. But yeah, love and all that. Well, anyways, one of the things we agreed on was that he and I would stop drinking alcohol because he was beyond crazy aggressive when he drank, and I wanted to support his sobriety. This is really important. Fast forward about 8 months or so, and we got into a huge fight, and I not only broke up with him, I kicked him out of the house and told him he wasn't ever allowed back inside. We've been living together over a year at this point, so his mom got in touch with me about getting his stuff. While on the phone with her, I could hear him in the background saying, "Make sure they get everything I own or bought. I want it all back." Apparently, even stuff he gifted me he wanted back. But honestly, I didn't care. I was happy to get rid of anything related to him. While cleaning our room up and gathering everything, I started to come across numerous bottles and cans of alcohol. It seems he had been drinking again for a while and was hiding the evidence in the room. I mean, he was hiding them under the bed, in his guitar case, rolled up in his clothes, in some old backpacks of mine, and so on and so forth. He said he wanted everything of his. So any bottle and the few unopened cans I found went straight into one of the garbage bags of his stuff. By the time I had gathered everything up, I had 3 bags of stuff, and one was basically all just the alcohol. Dropping them off was just so satisfying. He actually called moments after I left his parents' place ranting about how petty and immature I was being. My response? Well, you wanted all your stuff back, and those definitely weren't mine. Plus, I figured you probably need a drink to deal with the breakup. I promptly ended the call and blocked him on everything. Most satisfying thing I've ever done. And this next r/Petty Revenge story is posted by you/No Charstring. Revenge for engineers treating techs badly. About 45 years ago, I worked for a company that designed and manufactured hard disk controllers for many computers. I was a lowly bench tech, finding solder bridges and bad ICs and then testing the units. The company had a design engineer who exhibited, shall we say, a high degree of privilege. He treated the technicians like crap, stole their tools and scope probes, and was generally unpleasant to be around. After I had been there for about a year, the company decided to move to Silicon Valley. Being a skilled technician, I was tasked with removing the public address system from the old building and installing it in the new building. You can probably see where this is going. The engineer in question got a PA speaker installed directly over his desk, at least 10 feet high, and its volume level was set to maximum. I also made it a practice of asking him if he was hearing the pages okay every time I walked by his desk. And this next r/Petty Revenge story is posted by you/the_local_boy. Want to not clean a store amidst a pandemic? Enjoy the health department. So, I worked at a store, a cookie cutter store that is a well-known chain. We begin the tale when I first started. I started at this store in June of 2020, about 3 to 4 months into the global pandemic. After working there for a little bit, I noticed that I was never told when and with what I was supposed to clean the carts and baskets or anything in the store. So I went to my store manager and asked, "What am I supposed to clean the carts with?" To which she responds with, "Oh, that's not your job. They clean the store at night, so it doesn't matter. I was a little suspicious of this response because our store manager didn't even let us vacuum the store. So I asked the assistant managers that closed, to which they said that they in fact do not wipe any of the carts down. So then the next day, I come in and the store manager comes to me and says, "Oh, I never had answered your question. Here are some wipes. You can wipe them down if you want to, but the virus is spread through the air. That is why we have to wear these stupid masks. So wiping things down doesn't really do anything. It also makes all the carts sticky and gross. Also, if you want to be technical, we would need to wipe all the merchandise down too, because you have the people in the factories that make them touching them, then the redistribution centers, then us, and it would be a mess and take too long." I literally sat there biting my tongue so hard. Most of our customers are older people who live off of government benefits, and they come in and buy stuff because it is insanely cheap. So my store manager wasn't only putting them at risk, but the employees too. So I took the wipes and will wipe everything down as much as possible during my shift. However, sadly, I could only do it twice per shift, the start and end of my shift. Eventually, I got tired of being the only one attempting to clean a store. So I called the lovely health department. When they responded to my call, I was amazed at the stuff we were supposed to be doing that we weren't doing, such as rotating registers, having a dedicated person to clean the carts, being allowed every hour to go wash our hands, etc. I filled out my report and was told they would be in contact. However, I wasn't sure if they would actually do it, so I filed another complaint with the corporate office just to submit my basis. When I called corporate, I was told them everything else my boss was doing, such as throwing merchandise. If it wasn't put out to her liking, she would literally pull it off the shelf and throw it. Talking bad about employees to other managers, I have video evidence of her blaming all the staff on why nothing gets done and all we do is sit around and talk, and for literally telling us not to enforce the mask mandates or the elderly shopping hours. I eventually did quit, and a couple of days later, I just simply walked out. Fast forward 2 weeks. I go back in because I needed something, and I hear that the boss has been suspended for 2 weeks for failure to comply with the company policies and local mandates. They also hired a cleaning company to come and clean the store and hired someone just to clean the store throughout the day. And this next story is posted by u/bbarham99. Don't take my cologne. Back in college, one of my roommates was sort of known to borrow things, and they somehow never made it back to the owner. Me and my roommate are, and still are, good friends, but one day he pushed me too far. I would always let him use my cologne before we would go out because who cares? It's just cologne. But I had one specific cologne that was my favorite and apparently his and his girlfriend's favorite. So one day I come home and realize my favorite cologne is gone, and I knew there was one culprit. I called him to ask if he took it, and he was honest with me and said yes. He brought it with him while he went to visit his girlfriend's parents about 3 hours away and promised I would have my cologne back. Well, I had experienced his promise enough to know that if I didn't do anything, he would have forgotten the cologne and I would never see or smell it again. So what did I do to make sure? Before I got off the phone with him, I said, okay, but just to make sure I get it back, I'm taking some of your valuables out of your room and holding them hostage. To which he was not happy, but I was shaking with excitement. I then proceeded to take just about everything out of his room. I took his laptop, TV, pillows, hats, shoes, Beats headphones, etc., and took a picture of everything locked in the trunk of my car so he really got the message that I was serious. Surprisingly, when he got back, he tried to play the "dude, I forgot it, but I promise I'll give it back" routine. Not a chance, buddy. That stuff is staying locked in my car until that cologne is back on my shelf. He claimed he left it at the parents' house 3 hours away, but somehow within 15 minutes, I had my cologne back. I knew that it would be his trick, but you can't fool me that easily. And even if it was there, well, I guess he has to hop in the car for 6 hours unless he wants to sleep without pillows or can't do any HW since I had his laptop. Not my problem. And just to be even more petty, all I did was unlock my car and he had to put all his stuff back. Just so I know he got the message loud and clear. Oh man, those were 4 great stories. To hear the best stories of the week, click on the video in the top left-hand corner. To hear more Reddit stories all related to what you just heard, click on the video in the top right-hand corner. And if you have not already done so, click on the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. Once again, this is TNA, Top Notch Audio. Thank you for listening and have yourself a great day.